So I'm back with another movie review. Now this movie, I had forgot that this movie was even like gonna be a thing. Now I saw the first one, which was I forgot the name of it already. But I saw the first one, I was like, The Death on the Orient Express. I was like, this was a phenomenal movie. Like, especially the part where they were running down the doggone corridors and doggone it, the detective hears like a bump or whatever, and he like gets up in the middle of the night, he like peeks out of the door and he sees them running down the corridor, and he's like, what are they doing? And he just little did he know. But anyways, this is a good movie. It made me very sad, of course, but it was a good movie. But I really like the aesthetic of everything, like being in, Egypt, the pyramids, the Nile, the boat that they were on, the architecture. It was just beautiful. And I can't get over this man sitting here trying to like have a little snack in front of the pyramid, just enjoying the view. And he sees this man flying a kite. And he's like, what are you doing? Or whatever. And I was like, now, see, certain people, let me stop. Anyways. And this man is he's living life like it's golden, just YOLO personality, I guess. And he was like, well, I could be the first person to have flown a kite on the pyramids. Like, and then come to find out, they know each other and they're like catching up or whatever. Then you get, in the beginning of the movie, they show him how, because he was so smart, like this guy's intelligent. He helped the whole platoon of soldiers because of his intelligence. Unfortunately, got part of his face blown off. And he was afraid that the woman that he loved wouldn't want to be with him anymore. And they did this scene real good. He had his face turned over. And she was like, listen, it can't be that bad. Like, I'm pretty sure it'll grow back. Like, it'll be fine. Like, we'll be fine. We'll be happy together. And he was like, are you sure about that? And he like turns his face over. She was like, we can just, we can fix it. It'll be fine. And I'm just like, man. You find somebody who will still be with you even though part of your face has been blown off. Like, especially in today's society where everything revolves around physical attraction and how good you look. Especially, anyways, I was like, that is an A1. That is an A1 woman right there, okay? And me with my goofy self, I was talking about, oh, it's fine. He could just do a skin graft. And my brother was like, that wasn't around at that time. Remember, I was like, you sure right. And so then it goes to this, oh Lord, the main character. I forgot what her name is. The woman who plays this Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's right. Wonder Woman. I'm tripping. I was going to say Superwoman. Wonder Woman. And so that whole scene, I was like, okay. It's like, okay, what's wrong with this picture? Like, there was so many things wrong that I was like, have you lost your natural mind? So this young woman, I'm just going to call her the rich woman. Her cousin comes over with her fiance. Mind you, her fiance. Not some guy she was kicking it with. Her fiance. And she's like, oh, cousin, this is my fiance. Fiance, this is my rich cousin. Introduce yourselves. And then he goes up to her and is like, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm like, first of all, the way he was looking at her, I was like, first of all, keep your eyeballs to yourself. Look at your fiance like that. And then he's like, you want to dance? And she was like, sure. And then they're dancing. And the way they're dancing, you would have thought that they were the ones engaged. And her cousin was looking like, as she should have been, Then come to find out sometime later, these idiots then got married. And then her cousin is like losing her mind, running around with a gun in her purse, in her clutch, because she's like, I'm still in love with him. He still loves me. He just needs to be reminded. And they're all treating her like she's crazy. And he was saying, look, sure, we were together, but I fell out of love with you and fell in love with her. Like, what can't you understand about it? And both me and my brother was like, that is morbidly disrespectful and wrong. Like, you don't just fall out of love with somebody that quickly, I could be wrong, but there's a right and a wrong way to approach every situation, And I'm just like, he was wrong on all fronts, and so was she. You don't just steal somebody's fiance. And I guess, I guess it's not stealing if he didn't want to be there in the first place, but still, he was very wrong. Like, you don't just, oh, well, I want to be with her now, so forget you. And then two, it's like, you can't even say it was love, because when he saw her, she was pretty, she was attractive. I would say what he felt for her was lust, attraction. You don't just fall in love with somebody after you see him. That's not love. That's, wow, they're good looking, they're attractive. Like, now let's talk and let's find out why I might fall in love with you. So I was like, you feeding me wolf cookies, okay? We're too old for this. This is child's play, okay? And so I didn't understand why this rich woman didn't think about that. And I'm just like, and she had even said, she had told the detective after they had all already got on the boat and the boat was sailing down the Nile, go get him in private and say, all my life, they've always been jealous of me. They've always wanted what I wanted. And I don't trust them. And I feel like somebody is trying to come after me. And I'm like, well, first of all, why in the world are you on a boat with them? Why did you get on the boat with them? If you knew you couldn't trust them, why would you get on the boat with them? That blew my mind. If you can't trust them, you need to be somewhere where you can escape at all times. And sure, I'm pretty sure she could swim, but can you outrun a bullet if you're swimming? No. But anyways, unless their aim is bad. But anyways, she should have never got on that boat with them if she couldn't trust them. And then too, I was like, okay, so this man is your cousin's fiance, and then he just dumps her and gets with you. And he knew that she had money. You didn't find that suspicious at all. And she said that he didn't have a job or that he was broke or something like that. And so, okay, I'm probably gonna get dragged for saying this, but there's a rule in the world that says that if you're a woman with a lot of money, you're not really supposed to be involved with men that don't have a lot of money, the same amount of money that you have or more. Okay. Don't hate me. Hate the rules, okay? That's just the rules. Like, I didn't make the rules, but that's how it's supposed to go. And this is the reason why. Because at some point in time, either he is going to feel like his pride is going to take a jab because you make more than he does. And I don't care what anybody says. Every man on this earth feels like they should make more than a woman. I don't believe there's really a whole lot of men that are going to be okay with a woman that they're with making more than them or having more than them. And then two, because of what happened in this movie. Like, that's why you just don't, like I said, don't hate me, hate the rules. Okay, I didn't make the rules. Those are the rules. And even if you're a man, you got to be careful too, because some of these women are slick. Anyways, I'm trying to understand why she didn't think that it's weird. Like, I know you felt like he loved you, but you said yourself you had to be careful and cautious with trusting people because they could be using you for your money. You don't think somebody who's broke, who literally saw you, thought you were prettier and had more money, wouldn't try to use you after being in a relationship with somebody that didn't have as much money? I just thought that she should have been more cautious. And so I was like, oh, something not right here. And then her cousin was like mad. And so she finally said, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, the way we went about the situation with you and him leaving you for me, I'm sorry how I handled it. But I'm not sorry for us being together. And I was like, well, at least she tried to like apologize. Then all hell broke loose. And they fought. He gets shot. And then they go in her room and she has a bullet in her head. And I'm like, you know what? That made me so sad when I saw that lady laying in her bed with a bullet hole in her head. She didn't even see it coming. And then they were saying, like, there was a guy, I forgot what he did for them. He was talking about how he loved her. And I was like, well, why she didn't marry him? Like, he didn't seem like the kind of guy that would put a bullet in her head for her money. But she was, they were talking about how she had took some sleeping pills because she said that before, that she had to take pills to go to sleep because she was too afraid to sleep at night. And I'm saying, look, if you're too afraid to sleep at night, maybe you shouldn't take pills. Because maybe you being too afraid to sleep at night is for a reason. But that's why she didn't really wake up, during the commotion. And he was like, she died at this time, and hands are still cold. And I was like, man. And that man was really sad, and I was like, dang. So they still couldn't find out who did it, and they were thinking that it was the girl, her cousin, but they couldn't link it to her. The husband, I was just looking at him like, I still think it might have been him. I still think it was the cousin. So he's trying to figure out who would want to do it. He's going through everybody. Her other, I think he was her other cousin. He was like, why would I want to take her money? I have money. And then he gonna pull out a gun. He was like, if I want to shoot her, I would have shot her with this. And I was like, so he had that on him this entire time. Did y'all not pat these people down before they got on the, like, now if you really wanted to be safe, you should have been like, pat everybody down. I don't care how much you spent on a weapon. Throw it in the Nile. Go through their stuff, their suitcases. That's the condition of you getting on the boat. You get searched, and if I find a weapon, it's going in the Nile. And I was just like, so he's questioning these people. They getting in fights and stuff, and and then I just kept thinking about that whole scene with him getting shot in the knee and they fighting, and I'm like, all of them seem sketchy. What if it was all of them again this time? Because it all seemed sketchy to me. And then doggone, I think it was like one of the maids came up dead because she saw somebody that she wasn't supposed to see. Then the other guy, like the guy who he had saw at the beginning of the movie, who was flying the kite on, the Nile, he got mad because they were supposed to be friends. Comes to find out, this man's mother hired him, the detective. I was shooketh. I was like, really, sir? This is beneath you. But anyway, she hired him to follow and investigate the woman that he was romantically interested in and wanted to be with, because she didn't trust her because she was black. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, first of all, sir, you're supposed to be retired. Really? And maybe I was like, okay, well, maybe she offered him like a lot of money, but still. And he was like, you're supposed to be my friend. Like, how could you do this to me? And he was like, it's nothing personal. And then too, like, if I would have found out something, it would have been good too, But I mean, he's like, but listen, the good thing about it is, she's 100% clean. Like, she's a good person. She's a great woman. Like, she's good. And he was like, thanks for getting money to find out what I already knew. And he was like, I already knew she was a good woman. That's why I wanted to be with her. And he was like, mother, I don't care what you say. I'm going to be with her, whether you like it or not. She was just like, I'll never approve of this. And I was just like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And then they shot him. I was so mad when they shot him. Like, because I liked him. I liked him. I liked him a lot. They shot him through the mouth, through the throat. I was like, man, while he was sitting there, and he was saying, like, I know you saw something. And he was like, but I don't want to say, like, you could tell, like, he was so afraid for his life, which I don't blame him. I would have been like, listen, I have a mother and a woman I'm trying to love. You can go jump in that now for all I care. Like, you're not about to get me screwed over. Like, forget all of this. I would have pretended like I didn't see anything, and then I would have got off the boat as soon as I could. Now, I know that's not ethical, but still. He ended up dying because he convinced him to tell him, and he didn't even get the chance to say it all. I was like, dang it. And he was trying to chase the person and didn't make it, and then you could tell sort of from the physique that it was a woman. So I was like, it was a woman. And then that woman, his mother, was heartbroken. I felt bad for her mother. Despite everything, I felt so heartbroken because that was that woman's son. And they were both crying. And then the woman he loved was like, I don't want you to rest. I want you to find out who did this. And then he locks all of them in the room. Oh, and let's not forget the little scene where they were trying to, do the nasty on the rocks and almost got smushed. So he finds out that her other cousin, the businessman, was responsible for that. And I'm like, really, sir? So I was like, so are y'all going to actually arrest him when y'all get off the boat? Because all of that is for nothing if you're not going to actually. I don't care if she is dead. Both of them could have died because of that. He needs to go to prison. That was attempted murder. And then he was saying like, oh, this is what happened. And then he starts to piece together everything. And I knew that it had something to do with that doggone scene with him getting shot in the knee. I was like, see, something about this is not right. And he pieced it all together. He was like, you shot him with a blank fake nail polish. It was red. Put it on the thing and then cover the thing. And then you shot her and then you muffled the sound and then shot yourself and then to cover it up. And then you threw the thing and then, and I was like, I would have never pieced all of that together. All I knew is that all of them were acting sketchy. I felt like it was either her husband or her cousin because she was mad because of that. or because it was him, because he wanted to off her, because he wanted her money, because of the rule that I said. Like I said, don't hate me, hate the rule. And I just feel like that whole scene was off. You know what I'm saying? And he puts it all together. Come to find out, it was, again, the rule that I mentioned. It was all the cousin and her husband. Both of them had set it up because they both wanted to steal her money. And they literally, whenever I saw that, I really sat back and I was like, you idiots really sat here and planned all this out and still got caught. And they almost got away with it, but I was just shaking my head. If it had been anybody else other than him on the case, being the detective, they probably would have gotten away with it. And so I was like, y'all didn't got 3 people killed, including the person who you were trying to kill, just to get caught. Like, y'all did all of that. That made me so mad. And I was like, wow. And they gonna stand there and be like, huh, well, guess that's too bad. And then shot each other. When they did that, I sat there and I was like, so y'all did all of that to just shoot. When I saw them sit there and shoot each other, I was like, y'all make me sick. I was like, you know what? There's a special place in the underpits for people like y'all. Y'all be there together. My God, I was so mad. I was so mad. And then he, like, you know, they finally got off the stupid boat. And that poor woman who had to grieve the death of her son. And I think she finally kind of, like, you know, was at, you know, was at ease with the woman that he loved, because both of them boo-hooing, and I was just like, man, that's sad. Like, I was in my feelings. That's how sad. Like, between the maid, who they just, like, discarded like trash, basically, and her getting shot in her sleep by the man who she thought loved her, the highest betrayal, and him getting shot when he had everything going for him. Like, that man was very optimistic, and he was just a happy man. He had a mother that loved him and a woman that loved him. I was like, man, this is some depressing stuff. He gets off the boat, and I'm just like, well, you solved another murder. Like, I mean, I know 3 people died, but I feel like more people probably would have died if he wouldn't have, you know, I don't know. But this was a pretty good movie. Like I said, it was sad. It was very sad because, well, I don't know if it's even more sad than the last movie, because still, like, 3 people died, I think, right? But anyways, I was thrown for a loop. Anyways, but this was a good movie. It was good. Like I said, sad, but it was good. But y'all tell me what y'all think about it in the comments down below.